Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Edmead. I'm going to be your instructor today. Today's course is on ATM Scamming 101. It's a 20-minute presentation, and it's going to be very interesting because this is information that you can learn not only in the field but also for your personal self as well, because it's criminals out here. Criminals out here taking advantage of a lot of people. Before we get started, I'd like to go over some important course information. There's no cell phones in class. If please put your phone on vibrate. If you have an important call, you may step out to the hall. I know we all are adults here. We have day-to-day lives, so I know you have important. Restrooms are located out in the double doors to the left. On the one marked private is for females only. Fire exits. The primary exit right here is through the front, and the secondary exits through in the rear. This facility is a non-smoking facility. There's no smoking in the facility. You may smoke on your break. There's no firearms allowed in this course by company policy. And before we go into the lesson, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Edmead. I have over 9 years security experience. I work for a number of different companies doing security. I was an auxiliary police officer for the New York City Police Department for approximately 30 years. It's a voluntary agency, and I got to be a part of a number of different projects, from working out of Central Park. I worked in New York City Marathon as well as when I was doing the security as well. I'm licensed in 7 different states at the moment. I'm in the process of getting more licenses from DC, Florida, and so on and so forth. I attended the Department of Homeland Security Center for Domestic Preparedness in Maryland, as well as FEMA Emergency Management Institute, where I learned incident command. Course objectives. At the completion of this course, each student will be able to define what is a skimming device. List 4 common areas devices may be found. List 1 component that is used when skimming information. List 4 preventative measures someone can take. Let me ask you a question. How many people in here have an ATM or debit card or credit card? That's everyone. This course is the basic fundamentals of learning how to prevent yourself from getting schemed, basically. It's a foundation to combat financial fraud, basically. This course is a 3-part series, so in order to go into the next course, you have to pass this course, which is the basic elements of skimming, basically. And the second portion of it is going to go into detail in the field, basically showing you how, basically hands-on experience out in the field. There is a 4-question exam. There's 2 multiple choice and 2 true or false. But before we go into the lesson, I'd like to show you a video. It's a 2-minute video.
A credit card ring that recruited waiters at pricey restaurants to steal diners' credit card information. That information was then used for high-end shopping sprees. 28 people indicted today. Eyewitness News reporter Stacey Sager is live in Lower Manhattan with how it works. Stacey?
Well, all it takes is a 3-inch device, and waiters can basically scan all your credit card information. And some waiters at the city's best-known restaurants were indicted today. They worked as waiters at some of the tri-state area's fanciest restaurants and steakhouses. Places like Smith & Wollensky, Capitol Grill, JoJo, and Wolfgang's. Plus Borton's in Stamford, Connecticut, and the Bicycle Club in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey. Now they're facing felony charges, accused of using this little device called a skimmer to steal credit card information. Proof that when you order that steak, even in the nicest of places, it could cost you a whole lot more.
And so a card can be taken, swiped, really without being noticed at all.
Prosecutors say the alleged ringleader of the 28-person scheme was always careful to choose American Express black or gold cards that had high limits. And after the waiters allegedly skimmed them, other so-called shoppers allegedly tested them, then purchased these luxury items like jewelry, bags, and wine from high-end stores all over the city. They were then allegedly resold for profit. The scheme so elaborate it had its own IT guy. Defense lawyers for the waiters in court today portrayed them as minor leaguers with families.
We've never had a single contact with the criminal justice system.
It began at Capitol Grill. Capitol Grill issued a statement today saying they have been cooperating with this investigation. Meanwhile, the city's Commissioner for Consumer Affairs urging all restaurant goers do whatever you can to not lose sight of your credit card when you're paying in a restaurant. And now we're live in Lower Manhattan. I'm Stacey Sager, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
At this time, I'm going to give you a handout. The first page is a breakdown of what we're going to be talking about. The second page is actually going to be another intro. We're going to go into that later on. What is a scammer device? It's an electronic method of capturing a victim's personal information used by identity thieves. Scammers are small devices that capture unsuspecting customers' track information contained in a magnetic strip of the card. The track information on the scammer is then downloaded onto a computer and then re-encoded on counterfeit credit cards with a magnetic strip. So basically, in itself, it's a magnetic strip that's on the back of every debit or credit card. And basically, they take the information off that card and they place it onto their computers. So basically, after they download the information onto their computer, they would then. Has anybody ever heard of everyone have TD Bank?
Yes.
Yeah, TD Bank and Commerce Bank were pretty much the same. With TD Bank and Commerce Bank, what they do is when you first open your account, they give you pretty much a temporary card, right? So the temporary card is somewhat the same, similar to this. Basically, you give them the cash, maybe $100 to sign up with TD Bank. So after you give them the $100, they give you a temporary card. They swipe the card onto this machine here, and the machine basically will ask you for a PIN number to add a PIN. Once you add a PIN, now this is your ATM card. But pretty much it's the same process with these devices. After they duplicate the card, these are duplicates. So after they get your information, they duplicate the card onto these machines and they put their information on there. So basically, if you were to go to, basically, let's say for example, MCU, I'm a member of MCU, and my limit for cash for the day is $500. I can only withdraw $500 out of the bank one time. If I have an account that has $5,000 in it, the duplicated card in itself can withdraw whatever this ATM has. If this ATM has, let's say $6,000 in it, right? The duplicated card enables me to now go out to this branch, to this ATM, to pick the ATM and withdraw their entire account because there's no security features on that, basically. Yeah, no security features on the card, so it enables them to withdraw the entire account. Now, once they take the card, once they have all your cash information, the bank then has to go out and then actually give the money back to you. But it's going to take 30, depending on your bank, it takes 30 to 16 to 10 days.
No wonder. You would choose my bank, but I noticed that every time we do anything with our cards, they call us like the day after and they say the card may have been compromised. So that's why all the security features are
Well,
there.
I work for, when I'm working out in the field, I tend to use two different cards when I'm checking for devices. Like I'm an MCU member as well, but I also have a Chase account. So when I'm out in the field, I would use my Chase card when I'm checking the devices because I don't want my main bank to get compromised. So I'll place the Chase card into the machine first before I actually check the card because I don't want the customers around me to get the feeling that, you know, I want them to know that I'm a regular customer, basically, in itself. We talked about this. Gives suspects the ability to withdraw an entire account. Where can they be found? Scammer devices may be found in the following areas. ATM lobby doors. Now, when it's in the lobby, these devices you see here, this would be the cover itself. So, like say for example, late at night, let's say 3 o'clock in the morning, you go to a branch in the city or in Long Island, for example. Most customers, when they're going to the bank, they want to hurry up and get the cash. So they put their card into the machine, into the door, and the door allows them to open the door. Now it's red when you put your card in, it's green, basic. So usually in this scenario right here, you would have a device would be here, the cover would go over this, the exact replica of that particular door model. And a device would basically be a camera, which is on the second page of your handout, would be on the screen, would be on your ATM portal, basically.
So that's the actual skimmer.
Exactly.
That's evil genius.
Yeah.
See it in the movies a lot.
Yeah.
So they'll put the information, they have your card information now, they duplicate your card, now they have the information, but in scenarios like this, they're not going to, more than likely, they're not going to put it on a branch that has 3 or more ATMs, because the likelihood of you actually going to that branch, that particular terminal, is unlikely, because most, like say for example, we had a case, where was it? I think it was 55 Ward's Place at downtown Manhattan, right? There are 2 ATMs in that location. So the likelihood is 50-50 chance that a suspect is going to put a device on one of these ATMs and you're going to get that particular card information. The next one is, next place is this, well, we talked about this before we go into the next slide. This particular device is not a scammer device. This is the new technology, what Chase is implementing now, where if a device is placed onto this terminal, within an hour or so, within like 15 minutes or so, we would know, and we go out there and we would remove it, basically. But this is a new technology. That's what we do.
So it's sensory.
Exactly. Yeah. But before, they're replacing all of them with the new technology because it's much easier to detect. And now the criminals are getting much smarter because let's go back to this. If they put a device on this ATM, on this door, they're not going to leave it there for more than an hour or two because they don't want us to go out there and actually find it and take it from them. Another place would be ATM terminals. They wouldn't, more than likely, they wouldn't put it on the door. This is a case where they wouldn't put it on the door, where a customer coming in the bank, they want to, late night, they're drunk, whatever. They come into the bank, they put their card in, they're not really looking for signs when you go to the terminal. They're not really looking for signs that it might be a scammer device there. This is a duplicated replica of that. It looks exactly how the other one looks, but it's just a bulky. Just a little bit bulky, just a little bit. But it's a replica of it. And this is another example where this is the original one, and this is the cover that goes over it. So it's demonstrated, the cover goes over and it's securely fastened onto it. So the customer's not gonna really notice that when they walk into the branch.
Because I've seen both.
Yeah.
I've seen both, like
Exactly.
And I've always used it. So it's no wonder.
Every time I go to an ATM, what I do is I grab the part that my card goes in and I jolt it.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you what, man, it hasn't happened a lot, but every once in a while I'll let it pop off. And I walk right up to the cashier and be like, here, you had a skimming device.
Exactly.
How many machines have you broken into?
They're built good. They won't just pop off if they're not supposed to.
Yeah. That's what the second level of training is. They basically show you exactly what to look for and to pull, start, This is another example where the cover, most people are not going to really notice that. It goes over it, another example. Gas stations. Long Island gets hit the hardest with these devices, the gas stations. Train stations, MTA for example, they put devices on MTA machines because they know people more than likely what they'll do is they'll jam the cash where the cash is supposed to go. They'll jam it so that way, if there's nobody there, you have to use debit or credit. So they'll put a device there, and now they have the information basically. Convenience stores. This is an example of a convenience store where the guy right here, he's not really paying attention. He's looking at the numbers because he has a gambling problem. Right? So he comes behind him, he places a skimmer on top of the terminal by 7-Eleven. He's unbeknownst to this guy, he's looking at the lottery numbers. So then he finishes his transaction, he swipes, the guy comes behind him, buys, let's say, he buys a bag of chips. Now he takes that off of it, and now he buys the chips and he walks out. Now he's behind the person because he's watching them, physically watching them take the PIN number basically. So he knows your card information, now he knows the PIN. So now he can go out and duplicate your information. Prevention. Common ways someone can prevent becoming a victim. Be aware of suspicious people outside and inside of ATM locations. Use well-lit, populated ATMs. Block the view of bystanders when doing your transaction. Keep an eye on your credit card statements. I know everyone in here checks their credit card statements, but most people, your credit card comes in the mail, the credit card statement comes in the mail. You check it. Most people don't check it, they just paid it because they want to keep that good credit, so they just $500, fine, I'm paying $500.
Take Anthony with me.
I got ripped off the head on a gas station.
Yeah, I was always told never use your card in the gas station.
Yeah, they say that's not good.
Yeah, I was always taught that. Never
Go
use it in the gas
inside,
station. They said never.
Now with the gas stations are it's easier to put a device in at a gas station, so it's not really hard to go out and find a key for the gas station terminal itself. And most gas stations, they don't make much money off of the gas. They get like 56 cents per gallon off the gas. Most of the money for the gas goes back to the core overhead, like BP, for example. Where the money lies, where they get their money, most of their money from is inside inside where all the food and stuff is at. That's where they get most of the money. That's where you see. That's why they get gas. That's why it's easier to place a device there because the tenant's not really looking at the terminals outside. They're trying to make money for themselves. Avoid ATMs that have unlocked doors or are directly outside on the street. Now, this is another example where in Long Island, Babylon, or Baldwin, 3 o'clock in the morning, most people get, it's driving, it's late at night, there's nothing around you, no surroundings, it's just a chase. It's lit, well lit, however. It has a drive-through. You need to drive in, get your cash. You drive in to get the cash from the ATM terminal, and there's a device there because most people, they're lazy. They don't want to get out of the car and go inside. So they put the device there because they know that most people are coming to just go, And course review. What is a scamming device? Anyone?
Device to read card information.
Common areas devices may be found are
Banks, gas stations.
ATMs.
Train stations.
a component that is used when scanning information is
A reader.
a preventative measure someone can take is
Use cash everywhere.
Punch the ATM before you use it.
Yeah, break it like Anthony does.
Hey man, every once in a while money start coming out, man, because I'm telling you.
any questions?
question. Are these readers now with the chip, are they harder for the
I heard
scanner
them.
to use it with the chip now?
No,
No.
it's not hard because their new technology comes up. It's Bluetooth enabled, and now I can be down the hall and I can get your information by chip. You know.
Have you seen these new devices that they use? Someone could walk by you and
Yes.
get all your information
Yeah.
just
It's an
in one
electronic
swipe.
reader,
Yeah, you heard about that?
RIDF.
IDF, that's
RIDF.
exactly what it is, yeah, it's,
All right. Well, I'm gonna go over the exam and that's pretty much it.
we're gonna get a copy.
Good job.